and welcome to the Sports Perspective. I'm Hayden Grove.
And I'm Jordan Elwood. Hayden, everyone's been talking about Richard Sherman's comments made after the NFC Championship game. Do you think that he was misguided, or do you think he was just in the heat of the moment?
I think Richard Sherman is a competitor, and that competitive spirit that he has was just, overflowing at that moment. It was certainly a tense moment for those watching at home, but what are you going to do? I thought it was not misguided at all. It's just a show of emotion.
Absolutely. Coming off their fourth consecutive loss to Nebraska on Monday night, the Buckeyes were looking to halt their freefall at home on Thursday against Illinois. Buckeye TV sports director Franz Ross was there with the story.
After they trailed at halftime tonight against Illinois, it looked like the Buckeyes might go for a fifth consecutive loss. However, a second-half rally spearheaded by Lenzel Smith Jr. would lead the Buckeyes to a much-needed victory.
This was a big win. As we told our guys, it was a one-game season tonight, just from the standpoint of we knew we had 6 days off afterwards, and the schedule we've been on. And to their credit, they did a tremendous job of laying it all on the line.
We had it was a lot of togetherness tonight. You see guys jumping up and down. You see our bench jumping up and down. We was able to get our crowd into it. It felt good to be playing back at home too, having that support for you from the crowd. So I think it was just a group effort tonight. Everybody did what they had to and pitched in.
It was Lenzel Smith Jr. who caught fire in the second half for the Buckeyes. Smith had 16 points and 3 steals on the night and went 4 from 8 from beyond the arc. Yeah,
I'm happy for Lenzel because he's been very diligent last few days of in there working and trying to get everything right. And when you see that, that's what excites you as a coach, and you're happy for him when it goes in.
Shoot the ball. They were yelling at me, why are you not shooting the ball? And that kind of, gave me that extra motivation of, well, if they want me to shoot, then that's my job on this team, and I'm going to shoot. And luckily down the stretch, it came through for us.
It was a return to form for Aaron Kraft against the Fighting Illini. Kraft contributed 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists to the Buckeyes' victory.
No, it's funny because I told Aaron before the game as we were going through matchups, I said I need my Aaron Kraft back. And he instigated a lot of that in terms of his activity.
We do have to have a sense of urgency, and I think that we can't get complacent right now. This is one game, and there's still, we have 10, 11 games left. So this is a great win. We're really proud of our guys, and we can enjoy this today. And then maybe tomorrow, and we get to Saturday, we need to find a way to keep getting better, find a way to be better than Penn State next week.
As the final buzzer sounded, you could see relief on all the players and coaches' faces as they sealed a victory. They now head into next Wednesday, where they will play Penn State here at the Schottenstein Center. For Buckeye TV, I'm Franz Ross.
The Ohio State women's basketball team faced the Iowa Hawkeyes at Value City Arena this past Sunday, looking to move past a 22-point loss to Penn State. I was there to see just how the Lady Buckeyes would fare. The comeback fell short. After being down by more than 17 in the first half, the Buckeyes mounted a furious second-half rally that came up short as Ohio State lost by a final score of 81-74. Iowa got out to an early lead over Ohio State, thanks in large part to their tremendous ability to hit the three-point shot. After making 6 of their first 8 three-point attempts, Iowa went on to make 50% of their three-pointers in the first half and wound up with 49 total points heading into the break, leaving Ohio State head coach Kevin McGuff none too pleased.
Yeah, that's the worst defensive half probably all year. And some of the things that we try to do is kind of they're sort of all or nothing in that you do them, you execute well, and you do them with maximum effort, and they're effective. But if you don't do it quite with maximum effort or maximum execution, then you're really vulnerable. And I think that's what happened in the first half a little bit.
The second half, however, was a completely different tale. Led by center Ashley Adams, who scored all 8 of her points in the second half, including a string of 6 points in a row, the Buckeyes stormed back from a 13-point halftime deficit to bring themselves within just 3 points of the Hawkeyes with 5 minutes left in the game. Ultimately, however, down the stretch, the Buckeyes just couldn't make enough plays to bring home the W.
I was proud of, we showed a lot of resolve and, put ourselves in position to, have a chance to win. But, you spend so much energy climbing back in the game, and then, we couldn't make a couple key plays at the end. We didn't guard the ball, and, they had a huge offensive rebound there at the end with Logic. And so, like I said, I think we wore ourselves down with having to spend so much energy to get back in the game.
Iowa freshman Ali Distroff helped Iowa to seal the deal late in the second half by making all 6 of her free throw attempts down the stretch. Overall, Distroff finished with 24 points and made all 12 of her free throw attempts in just her first start for the Hawkeyes. For the Buckeyes, sophomore Amaris Alston led the way with 24 points, while senior Martina Ellerby contributed with 17 of her own on 8 of 10 shooting from the field.
I really think it was just my teammates. I mean, they were looking for me, and they were kind of finding me open. I don't really do much. It's really them.
The 12-9 Buckeyes will return right here to the Shot next Sunday to take on the Michigan State Spartans and try to turn around their losing ways. For Buckeye TV, I'm Hayden Grove.
When we get back, we'll take a look at some Ohio State football, including a special guest who stopped by the Buckeye TV studio. Stay tuned to find out who that might be. This week, Ohio State defensive lineman Michael Bennett stopped by the Buckeye TV studio to answer a couple of questions, including the impact of new coach Larry Johnson Sr. and what he expects from himself and from his team next season. Take a look.
I've heard a lot about Coach Johnson and how he's a big technique guy. He's a big players coach, so he's not really a guy who's going to try to embarrass you or do anything like that. He's going to get on you, but he's really just trying to look out for you and hope that at the end of practice, you're satisfied with the way he coached and that he's satisfied with the way you practice. So I'm really expecting him to just be a technician and just make sure everyone on the D-line's a technician, and he's going to get after us and push us just like Coach Vrabel did. I think they're really excited. I know especially Noah and Tommy, because they were committed to Penn State, and they said the biggest reason was Coach Johnson. He's said to be one of the best recruiters, especially at Penn State, so we're expecting the same from him here. But I think all the guys are really excited. He's got a really big repertoire bringing it in, and like everybody just knows what he can bring to the table. So I think everyone's pretty excited to see how the season goes. It's really good that Navy is our first team because Navy requires a lot of discipline to play them on defense. So I think that's going to be really good for us, especially as a team bouncing off of having a less than disciplined defense later in the season. I think it'll be really important for us to play Navy, and then Maryland and Virginia Tech. I just think they'll be good opponents. Interesting to see how they'll be this year. Being a senior, I'm going to put more pressure on myself because I have to perform. And like you said, I had a breakout season last year, but there were a lot of things that I could work on, a lot of things I could get better at. And that's going to be my biggest thing in this offseason, is making sure that I get better so that other guys will see that and try to get better as well. And I can push other guys just by what I'm doing. The D-line is young, which is great because we had such a great season last year. It's important for us to grow and not just be okay with how we did last year. We need to get better technique-wise. We have a lot of guys who are physically just monsters, but struggle with technique sometimes. And especially with Coach Johnson coming in, I think this will be a really, really good year for the D-line and the Bullets. For a couple reasons I decided to stay. First off, probably the biggest reason was after that Michigan State game, I knew I was going to stay because we had gone 24-0, and that just did not like it. Did not like it at all, and I knew we play Michigan State next year, and that is going to be a big game for me personally. So that was a huge reason for me to stay, was losing that game. And then obviously losing the bowl game gives you just another reason. And then I'd talked to Coach Vrabel and asked for his opinion because I'd been getting opinions from all different directions about you'd go second round or whatever they were saying. And he said that he thinks it's better to just finish your college career, get that degree, and just get better, become a better technician, get a little bit bigger, get a little stronger, know the game a little better. And the guy's been in the league had been in the league for a while, so I really respected what he had to say and took that advice to heart.
Last week, 2 Ohio State seniors participated in the National Football League Players Association Collegiate Bowl in Carson, California. The event was just one of many games that showcased college football players prior to May's NFL draft, and quarterback Kenny Guyton and safety C.J. Barnett took part in the action. While Barnett played on defense, Guyton didn't see much time on the field, as he completed just 1 of 4 passes for 9 yards. Following the game, Guyton tweeted, "Didn't get the reps I wanted tonight, but I trust I killed all week. Had fun with these dudes." Many other Buckeye seniors will take place in the myriad of games in the coming weeks, including offensive lineman Jack Mewhort, who will represent Ohio State in the Senior Bowl. Ohio State running back Carlos Hyde, however, has made the decision to skip the Senior Bowl, much to the surprise of many NFL scouts. Hyde, who has been projected as a first-round draft pick, did not comment on his reasons for skipping the game. After the break, we'll take you through the NFL Conference Championship weekend and look at this weekend's Ohio State athletic events here in Columbus. Stick around.
It's taken nearly 5 months, but Super Bowl 48 is now set. An exciting conference championship Sunday began in Denver as Peyton Manning and the Broncos faced Tom Brady and the New England Patriots in a battle between the legendary quarterbacks. The Broncos took advantage of the home crowd and leaped out to a 13-3 lead at the half and only continued to roll from there as they took a 20-3 lead entering the final 15 minutes. New England scored 13 points in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't nearly enough as the Broncos secured their spot in the Super Bowl with a 26-16 victory. Peyton Manning finished with 400 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, while Brady threw for 227 and 1 touchdown. Meanwhile, in Seattle, the NFC West rivalry between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks added a new chapter. The 49ers got out to an early 10-0 lead, but the Seahawks stormed back to tie the game at 10-10, as the two teams battled back and forth. The 49ers had multiple opportunities to score and put the game away in the fourth quarter, but the Seahawks would not back down as they beat the 49ers 23-17 and took their place in the Meadowlands Super Bowl.
It should be another busy weekend in Ohio State athletics, especially here in Columbus. On Friday, the Ohio State men's wrestling team will be taking on the Nebraska Cornhuskers at 7 p.m. at St. John's Arena. On Saturday, women's hockey is set to take on the Minnesota State Mavericks at 1:07 p.m. at the OSU Ice Rink, while the men's lacrosse team will face off against Navy at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center at noon. The Ohio State women's basketball team will be at the Schottenstein Center this Sunday as they take on the Michigan State Spartans at 12:30 p.m.
Well, Jordan, the Ohio State men's basketball team has lost 4 games in a row. What is the solution to their problem?
Well, I think their solution is simple enough. They have to get shots up. They have to make shots. Their defense has always been a strong part to their game. And now they just got to make some shots, and then hopefully that can put them back on the winning track.
Yeah, they're certainly missing Deshaun Thomas. Well, thank you for tuning in this week.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good evening.